Pro-Hamas students reportedly trained by left-wing groups 9 months before college protests. Now, this is according to a report in the Wall Street Journal that many of the pro-Hamas agitators have been consulting with radical Palestinian groups for up to 9 months prior to the campus uprisings. The protesters were reportedly trained how to encourage college students to join in on demonstrations, how to make these events as turbulent and chaotic as possible. The radical groups use social media to reach out to potential protesters and give them advice, such as informing them to cover their faces and avoid news media. Students at Columbia University even attended a teach-in hosted by former members of the Black Panthers before the pro-Hamas protests, who taught them how to handle internal disputes regarding political movements. Students were also encouraged to call on universities to divest from Israel. Joining us now with reaction is a man who has had his eye not just on our southern border, but the entire nation. Mark Lamb is the sheriff in Arizona, and he is also running for Senate. Welcome. Welcome back to the show, Sheriff. This doesn't surprise you.
No, because they didn't put an end to it during the riots that we saw in 2020. And look, these are mostly paid actors. We know from, internal investigations, we know that with working with other law enforcement, there are groups like the George Soros groups, Open Society, other organizations that are funding a lot of these people who are just paid actors to come in and cause trouble. And the fact that they were planning this 9 months before only gives credence to that. And really, these are not movements that are natural, that are organic from students. They're just sucking these students in because these students are clearly vulnerable to bad policies, socialism, all those things. It is sad to watch, though, because these schools, whether private or public, are putting law enforcement officials at a real risk. And they're putting other people at a real risk as well by not stopping this right at the get-go.